Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtedar Khan, your host, and today I'm going to talk to you about the two provincial elections that just took place in India, the basically assembly elections for the state of Maharashtra and for the state of Jharkhand. For those of you who follow Conversations, you realize I was watching cricket on one laptop and watching the election results on the other, and clearly I didn't know whose performance was more outstanding and stunning, whether it was Bumrah's bowling or BJP's electoral performance in Maharashtra. It was quite a total destruction of the opponent. I mean, the way the Australians collapsed and Bumrah taking 17 for 3 with one catch dropped, and BJP getting nearly 132 seats. It appeared as if it did not need NDA. It was about to reach an absolute majority in the state of Maharashtra on its own. So anyway, welcome to Conversations. I'm going to do 4 things in this conversation, so please bear with me. I will talk about very briefly about Jharkhand's election because that is also an important election and there are a couple of interesting things that came out of it. The second thing that I want to do is talk about obviously BJP's and NDA's win in Maharashtra. Clearly, some of the pundits and experts were all stunned and surprised, not just by the victory, but also the extent of the victory. And then I will talk a little bit about Congress. This is one of the worst performances that Congress has given in recent years. And whether it is in Maharashtra or whether it was in Haryana, it was like top seeds losing matches. A lot of people felt that there was a lot of anti-incumbency in Maharashtra, and I will talk a little bit about that more. And so Congress and the India Alliance were expected to do either win this or be competitive and have a hung assembly, but they were beaten so thoroughly, it's unbelievable. BJP is on top and Congress is in the dumps. And then I want to talk a little bit about Rahul Gandhi, a little bit about where is he? And a little bit about Congress leadership. This performance is absolutely terrible performances. I mean, I'm surprised that nobody has rendered resignations yet from the party. So these are the 4 things I'm going to talk about: Jharkhand, Maharashtra, Congress, and Rahul Gandhi. So please hang in there. I have some very interesting things to say about Rahul Gandhi and his leadership or lack of leadership. But before that, please do the needful. Subscribe to Conversations, like this video, press the bell icon, and share this video with your socio-political network. And please, if you want to support Conversations, do subscribe and become a member. Join the channel. So press the button join and become a member. There are some videos right now which are member only, and you might enjoy those videos too. So my first observations, a few observations about Jharkhand itself. Jharkhand election was a face saver for Congress. Even though Congress did not do anything great in Jharkhand, but its alliance with Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, JMM, was successful. They won 56 out of the 81 seats, so they have a clear majority. BJP, basically Congress remained where it was. It had 16 seats in the previous election. It has 16 seats now. And JMM won 4 seats extra, and BJP lost 4 seats. And with all its alliances, it got only 24 seats. So in that sense, the India Alliance can say we won 1 state, we lost 1 state. Jharkhand is not Maharashtra. Maharashtra is India's richest state, and one of the states which has great implications because the election outcome of Jharkhand is probably going to have an impact on elections in Delhi and then afterwards elections in Bihar. Whereas the Jharkhand elections, I don't know, maybe it might help in Bihar, but otherwise, I don't think that Jharkhand's elections are in any way of any serious consequence. But there's one point that I do want to make about the Jharkhand elections, which is the BJP's campaign was led by the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Sharma, who is a notorious anti-Muslim Islamophobe, pretty nasty fellow. This guy, I mean, he never misses an opportunity to say nasty things about Muslims, and remember, he also said some nasty things about President Obama, kind of threatened President Obama in one of the tweets. So anyway, he used this campaign of trying to basically this Hindutva idea of demonizing Muslims, calling them all infiltrators and Guspetiyas, etc., coming from Bangladesh and destroying Jharkhand, etc. He went on this rant all around, and he was quite proud of that campaign. So at the end of this election, he said, "We had a vision." This is what he called talking about infiltration. We have a vision, and obviously the voters in Jharkhand rejected that soundly. So I consider that as a positive thing, that communalization of politics. If BJP gets punished for communalizing politics, then it will focus on other things such as welfareism and providing good governance. But if it keeps winning by demonizing Muslims, then it doesn't have to deliver. It can just come up with new slogans. It did do that in Maharashtra too, but there was a much more complex strategy employed in Maharashtra. So those are the only 2 points that I wanted to make. That Jharkhand gave India and Congress some kind of a face saver, so they can say, okay, we were not wiped out entirely. But that's all. I don't think it anything significant. What is significant about Jharkhand is the victory of Soren, the leader of Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, who was actually targeted by the BJP government. He was sent to jail for corruption, etc. He got the kind of investigation that Adani should be getting, but will never get. So anyway, so that's all I have to say about Jharkhand. Now, to my second point, which is about the Maharashtra. I mean, this was a stunning performance by BJP, absolutely. There were many things going against BJP. Number one, there was a lot of anti-incumbency. And if you remember, a few months ago in the Lok Sabha election, BJP did not really perform very well. Congress and its allies performed much better. The India Alliance did much better than the NDA in Maharashtra. And to a great extent, it contributed to the weakened performance of Narendra Modi and the BJP in the national. They did not even get an absolute majority. They got around 240 seats. They reached 240 now by winning one of the by-elections. And so there was this narrative building up that Modi has been weakened, Modi has been restrained, and BJP has been basically contained, and so on and so forth, has weakened. So for them to come back in such a spectacular way as to win over 132 seats, the BJP and its allies, the NDA, has won 230 seats out of 288. 80% of the seats. That's a stunning performance. Basically, there is no opposition left in Maharashtra. Maharashtra is like a one-party state now, at least one alliance state. I mean, there are 6 parties there. But this was a stunning performance. And especially because, as I said, there was perception that Bharatiya Janata Party and its allies have been weakened because of their performance in the national elections. And remember, when we talked about Karnataka, where in the previous round of elections, the Congress had won locally, and so people kept saying that, people vote in assembly elections based on local issues, and so when it comes to national elections, they will vote for Modi, even though they may have voted for Congress in the assembly elections. This was the narrative coming from the friends of BJP in the media with regards to Karnataka. Here it appears to be the opposite, that BJP lost on the national front in the Lok Sabha elections, or at least didn't perform as well, but it performed spectacularly on the local level. That is very interesting. So it's the reverse image of what happens in Karnataka. So BJP not only won massively, what is interesting is that there were many things against BJP besides the weak performance in the Lok Sabha election. There was all these accusations that the current government of the Shiv Sena, Eknath Shinde's party, he stole the party, he's a dagabaz, he's I don't know what word they use for it's like a box of money. I'm forgetting what the Hindi word or Marathi word for it is. Koka, I think they call it Koka ki sarkar hai, the government that basically is built on members of the assembly who have been bought by BJP. So BJP was seen as party breaker, etc. So there were lots of negatives associated with BJP. There are also certain segments in Maharashtra. Apparently, people in the Marathwada part of Maharashtra don't like to vote for BJP at all. And of course, the perception that Muslims en masse were voting against the Bharatiya Janata Party, even though there is survey results from CSDS which said that 8% Muslims did vote for Bharatiya Janata Party, but clearly 90% plus are not voting for BJP. They are voting for some form of the opposition. Not only that, but there was also this perception that there will be a resurgence of the original Shiv Sena party, Uddham Thackeray and his family might, the Thackeray family might basically be able to win back all the seats that Eknath Shinde has lost. So anyway, the performance was really, really awful. Yes, the UBT did win some additional seats, more than what it had at the moment. They got 4 extra seats, but Congress lost. It was decimated. It has become less than half of what it was, and so basically they were wiped out, and so were their other partners, especially Sharad Pawar's party. So how did the BJP do this? The BJP apparently was in this election, unlike the Lok Sabha election where the RSS did not support the BJP, the RSS was very, very active. I was listening to Rashdeep Sardesai's personal YouTube channel in which he says that RSS organized 6,000 meetings in the run-up to this election, targeting the OBCs because there was this perception that the elite of the Dalits and the people from the Marathwada area would not be voting for BJP. So they went after the OBC vote, and RSS played a big role in it. So one example was that they had this powerful disciplined cadre of RSS working day and night for BJP in the past few months before the election. The second was obviously the welfareism. And you mentioned that this Ladki Behan scheme of the government, which basically gives a raise. I mean, it gives at the moment about 1,500 rupees to every woman who comes from a family where the annual income is less than 2.5 lakhs, and they promised to raise it to 2,100 rupees. So they targeted women. They provided other benefits to women, from KG to PG, free education, half tickets on government transport, etc. But the main thing was this Ladki Behan scheme, which really took fire, and apparently it won the women's vote. There was a higher turnout of women, and the voter turnout overall was high, but apparently 6% extra women voted in this election. And the Ladki Behan basically benefits about 2 crore, close to 20 million women and their families benefit from this scheme, which is really worth thousands and thousands of crores. So what the government really did of Eknath Shinde was basically open the doors to the state's treasury, and they signed about 200 government resolutions. They're called GRs, in which they basically gave all kinds of benefits and promises to various segments of the society. They bought their vote by saying, we'll give you money, 1,500 rupees per month, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, we'll give you government pensions. They targeted farmers, they provided. So basically, they just opened the door of the treasury, the government treasury, and used the government treasury as a campaign finance funds, and basically bought their votes. But they are in government, and so they are able to take advantage of that. We see that across the board here. Joe Biden tried to buy the vote of young people by trying to, and to some extent did succeed in waiving college loans for college-educated people in America who had college loans, and they are Democrat voters. So these days, all over the world, governments are taking advantage of what is called welfareism and providing welfares. Even if the government goes bankrupt, they're borrowing money and providing these schemes in order to compete. So that is attributed as the second more important reason besides the support of RSS. The third strategy apparently that BJP employed, which really won them seat, was that they did resort to some communal sloganeering, katenge to batenge and ek hai to safe hai, these kind of slogans which basically sought to consolidate the Hindu vote. So they did use the Hindu card. So basically they went into what majority appeasement in that sense, saying that we are here to protect you from minorities, and if you don't vote for us, the opposition parties will, I don't know what, give all your land to the Waqf board or whatever. So they used a lot of scare tactics. And so the third strategy that they employed was communal and majority appeasement strategy, with slogans such as "Katenge to batenge to katenge." If we are divided, then we will lose, and so let us be united. And so it has a dual purpose. It emphasizes the divide between Hindus and Muslims, and basically tells Hindus to unite and vote for a party that will be anti-Muslim. And the second thing is that it also tries to keep the Hindu vote intact by resisting the caste-based divisions within the Hindu vote bloc. So these are the two things that are these two fissures, the two divides that are covered by the slogan "Batenge to Katenge." So these are some of the things that they did. They also spent a lot of time recognizing that they are entering this campaign at a disadvantage, and then they went out there and campaigned very hard. BJP has a very good election mechanism. Their capacity to turn out voters, basically the vote gathering machine of BJP is far more efficient, far more smarter, far more dedicated, and far more hardworking than the Congress and its oppositions. If you remember, when in the Kashmir election to Farooq Abdullah, who was in partnership with the Congress, and he won the election, but he did complain that Congress came to the game very late, and he was joking about it and said, "They comes to the meetings at 1 a.m. in the night when I start my day at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'm done by 10 a.m." So the Congress really did not show up apparently there. So these are some of the things about why the BJP won. I want to talk a little bit about Congress. And the Congress has really been wiped out. I don't know why I'm even talking about the Congress. I don't think the Congress party or the leadership of Rahul Gandhi should be taken seriously anymore after this horrible performance. They had enthusiasm on their side. They had support. They had performed reasonably well in the Lok Sabha. By the way, Congress lost one seat in these by-elections. So the number of seats that Congress has in the Lok Sabha has gone down by one. BJP has gone up by one, but I think that is I don't know which seat that is, but BJP gained one extra seat in the Lok Sabha in this election. But let me give you some numbers and tell you as to how, or when BJP lost many seats in the Lok Sabha elections in the summer, the BJP's vote share had gone down by only 1%, 1.5%. So in this election, BJP in 2019 had 25 point something percentage of 1 out of 4 Maharashtrians voted for BJP. Oh, by the way, I don't know whether you guys know, I'm born in Aurangabad. So technically, I'm a Maharashtrian, even though I've lived in Hyderabad and I identify with Hyderabad myself. So 1 out of 4 Maharashtrians voted for BJP in 2019. And this election, BJP's vote share went by 1.5%. So they got 26.8% only. So in many ways, the non-BJP vote in Maharashtra is about 74%. So 3 out of 4 Maharashtrians don't vote for BJP. And only 1 out of 4 voted for BJP this time. And they had this spectacular performance of winning about 132 seats out of 288. If they had another 15, if they had to win a quarter of more votes, they would have won. But the total NDA vote share was just 48%. So if you add the Shiv Sena, Shinde, and the other party, the third party, which got only 9% of the vote. So BJP got 26.8. The Eknath Shinde's branch of Shiv Sena got 12.4, and the third member of the alliance got 9% of the vote. So the total vote share of NDA is 48%, which means that 52% of Maharashtrians, more than half of Maharashtrians, will not vote for BJP or its allies. So technically, the Congress had more than half the Maharashtrian vote out there to win this election with. And they lost horribly. The entire India alliance got less than the second party there. Eknath Shinde's party got more than the total alliance. The only member of the India party which did well was Uddham Thackeray, or whatever his name is. They went from 16 to 20 seats members, and they did well in certain parts of Mumbai. So, first of all, it is very interesting that BJP got 48% of the vote share, but nearly 80% of the seat share, which is quite stunning. But this is a commentary on Congress that they could potentially have won 52% of the vote. They let a lot of independents and other parties like Majlis Ittihad al-Muslimin, Oasis Party, I think, which got 2 seats, etc. But even if the independents and others won, they could have formed an alliance. So the non-NDA alliance got 52% of the vote. So it's not as if BJP, in spite of all its welfareism, all its practices, invoking Hindu nationalism and all kinds of things, still hasn't got 50% of the Maharashtra vote. So that tells you that Congress is not optimizing and maximizing the potential that is there out there. Without converting a single NDA voter, they could have won this election. Without converting a single NDA voter, they could have won this election, because there are 52% of the votes out there which did not go to NDA. Plus, I was listening to Rajdeep Sardesai and also to other members, Yogendra Yadav. They were saying that when they were talking to members of the Congress in July and others as to what is your agenda, what is your message, and apparently they were expecting to win 183 seats. India Alliance expected to win 183 seats. That is, they seem to be living on some planet which is not real in any way. And they didn't even campaign well. They didn't start. They were so full of themselves, overconfident, lazy, incompetent, without ideas. BJP is outthinking them, outsmarting them, and shamefully working harder than them, which is quite an interesting thing. If you really want power, then you should be able to work as hard. And I will explain to you in the end why I think BJP works harder than the Congress, and why Congress probably will never, ever be able to work as hard and as smart as the BJP. So the second thing about the Congress was that they were more interested in fighting as to who will become the chief minister rather than how they are going to respond to these 200 government resolutions which Shinde was signing away, basically buying voters. They had no proper strategy to respond to that. I tried to listen to some voices of the Congress who were trying to explain why they lost. And I mean, there are subtle hints that, okay, there has been cheating going on. And one of the Shiv Sena guys basically is implying that EVM manipulation may have taken place. I don't buy that argument at all. And if that was the case, why didn't it happen in Jharkhand? Why did it happen only in Maharashtra? So I don't think so at all. So they're not able to explain really why they are not winning, and why did they did the same thing in Haryana, and they did the same thing here in Maharashtra. They're always fighting among themselves. The alliance is very weak and selfish, and the leaders are kind of stupid that they are counting the chickens before they win. Wait till they hatch. So they were fighting about who would be the chief minister rather than how to win the election itself. So that is another sad part, I think, of this whole story, that there was 52% anti-NDA, 74% non-BJP vote in the state, and yet Congress could not win this election. There are very successful chief ministers of Congress, Telangana as well as Karnataka. Did these people come in campaign? Did Shashi Tharoor go and campaign in Maharashtra? I really don't know whether all Congress party members are on the same page, or they're running their own tiny little fiefdoms where they want to maintain their own personal authority. They don't help each other out. If you remember when I was talking about Rahul Gandhi's visit to the United States, I noticed that there were other members of the Congress in the country at the same time, and they were not even retweeting each other's performances and events. Like Shashi Tharoor will not retweet what Rahul Gandhi was saying in Dallas. And Rahul Gandhi, I've never seen him retweet anything that Shashi Tharoor. Are they members of the same political party? So I find that this lack of cohesion, lack of support for each other quite surprising. And that tells me that the party itself is weak, and so is the alliance. And so no wonder they are not performing when there is still an opportunity. At some point, BJP will succeed in consolidating the Hindu vote. Hindu vote is about 80% of the country. And if they cross the 50% horizon, then India will become a one-party state, and all you can do is be a strong or a weak opposition, but not form the government anywhere in the country. My last thoughts are about Rahul Gandhi. I did listen to him on several occasions when he was here in the US. On his previous visit, I even met with him and we had an exchange. He didn't like some of the things I said, and I was surprised by some of the things he said. He has some ideas, which I wrote an article also about them, saying let's engage with them more seriously, don't dismiss them. I will post a link to that in my video description. What it appears is that not only the whole country is dismissing Rahul Gandhi's ideas, but his own party. For example, one of the big issues that Rahul Gandhi keeps raising is this Adani issue, especially now that Adani has been indicted in US courts. Rahul Gandhi is going to bring that issue up in the winter session of the parliament, which I think begins on Monday or Tuesday. But I don't hear other leaders from the Congress talking about the Adani issue at all. So Rahul Gandhi has one vision and he keeps saying certain things. He has certain agenda. He talks about the Constitution, integrity, carries it. You don't hear other Congress members saying the same thing. But the moment Adityanath Yogi says, batenge to katenge, and then suddenly every BJP leader across the country is resonating them because they realize, oh my God, this is a good catchy line. It's going to really move. It's a philosophy in one sentence. Okay, so they are able to resonate and send their idea across. But I don't hear other Congress leaders who are echoing what Rahul Gandhi is saying. Plus, at some point, Rahul Gandhi has to ask himself, is the country listening to what I am saying? Is there a response? Yes, when he had the Bharat Jodo Yatra, he went up and down the country, east and west, north and south. He did generate a lot of support for him. And there are some fundamental problems in the Indian economy. High unemployment, inflation is still very high. There is growth of GDP without creation of employment, really. More and more people are going back into the villages to find nearly 60 million people have gone back to villages and to farming. So it's a sign of reverse development. It's like an underdevelopment. It's the opposite of what happens in developing countries. So there are some fundamental problems which the BJP government is unable to address. A large segment of the country is still very poor. Still, you need to send free food to crores of people. Look, the Maharashtra election, they say the women voters were critical for BJP's victory. And the BJP was able to win a large segment of the women's vote by offering them 1,500 rupees per month. It's less than $20. It's about $17 a month. And you get their vote. So there are some problems. Why do this? Why is this so attractive to the voter? Because there is poverty. And so why isn't Rahul Gandhi able to reach out to these people? Why don't they have message? Plus, clearly, BJP is beating the Congress when it comes to ideas and ideas generation. This welfareism is another thing that I really want to talk about. I don't know how sustainable this is, because even in the Jharkhand elections, the JMM also basically made lots of promises, very similar to all these Labharti policies and that the BJP was advocating, and all the GRs that the government was signing in Maharashtra. So the governments are spending money to buy votes, and these are all done very close to elections. These are going to raise public debt. These are not the kind of schemes which are empowering, really. They are going to increase the dependency of the poor on the government rather than empowering the poor to become middle class and rise above. Investments like this in creating large companies which employ manufacturing labor is much more beneficial for any state than just giving away cash. Yes, it might stimulate the market because these people, poor people, will then immediately spend that money. They'll go to the market and spend the money. So there will be GDP increase, undoubtedly. But is the government borrowing that money for these schemes, then it will be a huge problem. So I don't think these ideas are very good because they are not based on long-term planning, economic planning, or any long-term strategy. These are just, oh my God, we are lagging behind in the elections, we are lagging behind in the polls. Oh, it suddenly appears that one particular segment of the community or some particular caste people are upset with us. Well, let's throw a scheme at them. This is like a band-aid to loss of public support. So Congress is unable to come up with ideas. I think that Congress will not do well against the BJP if it cannot beat or at least combat and come on the same level at idea generation with the Bharatiya Janata Party. And of course, the level of motivation. This is the final point that I want to make, and this is the most important point. The Bharatiya Janata Party and its RSS alliance, they have a purpose, and they're committed to their purpose. That purpose is political, but it also gives meaning to their lives. Unfortunately, Congress and the opposition, other than seeking power for the sake of power, do not really have a purpose and a commitment. What is the alternative to Hindu nationalism? There is none at the moment. And until the Congress or any other leader who wishes to challenge the BJP and reverse the gains that BJP is making, they will have to come up with a very powerful idea that appeals to a lot of people and gives them a political purpose so that they can unite and work hard and beat BJP when it comes to idea generation and beat BJP in terms of dedication and motivation. And if they can't come up with that, then this is what is going to happen in election after election. So anyway, congratulations to Bharatiya Janata Party for a comeback victory. It's like Donald Trump's comeback victory. At least, well, Donald Trump was not in government. The NDA alliance was in power. So basically, what they did was overcome a very strong sense of anti-incumbency. So there are a lot of people who thought that they would win anyway. But what they didn't think was that they would decimate the Congress. So anyway, I don't want to take more of your time. I was looking at the clock. The India-Australia match is about to begin. So I'm going to check out now and go and watch the match. It's fantastically poised. all the depression that was triggered by the first half of the first day of cricket has now been reversed, and I'm more euphoric about the Indian cricket team. I just hope that today, even Virat Kohli scores some runs, then that would be the cherry on the icing. But anyway, so please subscribe to Khanversations, like this video, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share this with your social political network. Until next time, I'm your host, Muqtedar Khan. Take care.